Welcome to Android Dialogues, where we have bite-sized conversations with people from the Android community. I'm Chiu-Ki Chen, and today we are speaking with...
Jerrell Mardis.
Hello.
Hey.
Where are you based and what do you do?
So I'm based out of Chicago, and I'm an Android developer for Salesforce.com.
Cool. Yeah. And how do you get started with Android?
So I got started about 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So actually, no, maybe more like eight years ago.
That is still impressive.
Yeah. So I was an enterprise Java developer, and at night I would go and just mess around with the SDK and build apps on my own, and eventually that led to a full-time job. Through organizing, I actually talked with a few of my other members of the meetup and or of the group, and they actually convinced me to go into do freelance Android development. And
I want to ask you about the conference that you run in Chicago. It just happened last month, I think, Chicago Roboto.
Yep, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited to see all these new conferences coming up so that more people can get involved with the community, can meet people. So can you tell me, why you decided to run a conference?
Yeah, so I mean, it's really because I've been going to conferences since, I would say, maybe around 2011. My first Google I/O. Yeah, so...
By the way, we're in town for Google I/O, so we're in Mountain View, so I'm just like, Google I/O!
Yeah.
Cool.
So it started with that, and there's a lot of conferences on the West Coast, and there's conferences on the East Coast, but there's nothing really in the Midwest.
Right.
So I wanted to bring something home. I wanted to have an Android conference in Chicago and kind of bring everyone from around the world and kind of just help them enjoy Chicago and get to know it.
Cool. So how was it?
It was great. I mean, it was we learned some things, but it was awesome.
What did you learn?
It's very expensive to run a conference.
Yeah, I think people didn't realize that, when you just buy a ticket to go to a conference, you think of it as, oh, okay, there's this commodity and I pay a ticket. Yeah. But what goes behind it, at least, so I actually run a conference as well, 360 AnDev in Denver, for kind of the similar reason. I want to bring people to my community. And the way to do the finances for a conference is very different from my personal preference, which is I want to spend money that I have. Versus when you run a conference, you kind of have to book the venue, you have to commit to all these things before you have people buying tickets and before you have sponsors coming in. So that has been quite stressful for me. I don't know how.
I mean, you're trying to convince companies to give you money for something that you haven't produced yet, right?
Right.
You're trying to get venues when you don't have any money to get the venues.
Yes.
You need to sell the tickets first, right? To get some money, get sponsorship. But it's like the chicken and the egg problem, right? So.
Wow. So how did you get all the speakers to come and give the talks? Like, do you try to get local people, or do you try to reach out to the whole world? Like, how do you create the content for the conference, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so we reached out to some of the people that we know and some of the communities that we're a part of. We just blasted out on social media saying, hey, there's this new Android conference in Chicago. You should go and submit your talk for it. And we also wanted to reach out to the user groups in Chicago so that we can have a lot of locals present at the conference as well. We didn't want it to be a Chicago conference, but have all the speakers from outside of Chicago. We really wanted to have that Chicago feel too with it. So
that makes sense. Yeah, because I think it's kind of a hard balance to strike, because for people who are local, they probably want to hear from other people as well outside, just to get a different perspective. But then on the other hand, of course, it's a local conference. It doesn't make sense not to have locals to share their experience.
Right.
So now that you have done it once, do you have any advice for people who maybe are thinking about running a big event, not necessarily an Android conference, but because I feel like it's very different from our day jobs, which is being a developer.
Right.
So do you have any advice for people? Or maybe if you can talk to yourself from 2 years ago, what is one thing that you're like, oh, I wish I did it differently?
I would probably say to get better at negotiating.
Okay.
Trying to convince.
Life skill.
Yeah. It's definitely a good life skill.
Yeah.
It was just a big problem trying to convince companies to give up cash to
show me the money.
To put money into your conference, right? And so if I were to go back in time, I'll probably tell myself to spend a little bit more time on gathering more funds for the conference. maybe even reach out to more groups, more companies. Just try to spread the news about the conference a little bit better. Starting out organizing meetups.
Right.
Like I experienced a little bit of that, right? Like you try to convince like companies or recruiters or whoever
buy you pizza.
Right. Buy us pizza and maybe some beer, maybe something like that. But now this is on a much larger scale.
Right.
So how do you convince them to give up thousands of dollars or even hundreds of dollars? That's a problem.
So that's a difficult part. Yeah. So let's talk about something more positive. Like, what is the rewarding part of running a conference? Like, now that you've done it once, like, what made you feel like, okay, even though the work was really hard, I want to do it again?
For me, it's really bringing people to Chicago. Like, I hear a lot about, the Bay Area, New York, just a bunch of other places. I never really hear anything about Chicago. So we have a really...
Well, we have heard about Chicago, but maybe not
maybe
about
not good news.
Android developers.
Yeah. The news that's coming out of Chicago is not great right now. So so hopefully, this is to shed some nice... I guess like a light on Chicago itself, and when I talk with people after the conference, they all had really good things to say about it. So, and the city itself, so that's really rewarding. And then just to bring the content too, right. Like another reasons why I started with organizing meetups was because when I was building these apps on my own, I really didn't have anyone that I can talk to kind of get help. Right, I can go to Stack Overflow. I can go online, social media.
Not the same.
It's not the same, right? So if you can bring the community together, then you can build better things and just collaborate a lot.
That's true. A lot of people didn't realize because they would say, oh, all the talks are recorded online, so why would I bother going to a conference? Let me tell you a secret. The talks are just seeds for conversations. Yep. Like the vast majority of the value that you get out of a conference is meeting people and talking to them, because someone else may have a very similar problem as you, and then you wouldn't know. I mean, he wouldn't be like posting on Stack Overflow just randomly. Say, I have this problem and I answer my own question and here's my solution. Yeah. So a lot of the knowledge that is hidden within the community, and the way to get that and share that is to be present, right? Be there at the conference. Maybe you're chatting over lunch, maybe you're in the same talk together, and then you realize that, hey, the reason why we're both going to this talk is because we are trying to solve the same problem.
Right.
So,
and one of the things I like to do too, like you mentioned, going to conferences and sitting in the talks, that's nice, but networking is nice as well. So one of the things that I like to do is, if I'm working on something, I like to get feedback from people that I know. Like, okay, like what do you think of this animation, or what do you think of this user experience? Is it am I making it better? Is it worse?
Yeah.
So those are the things that you don't really get when you're just behind your computer, just like typing away.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great. It's been great talking to you. And if people want to follow your good work, where can they find you on the internet?
So you guys can follow me on Twitter. My handle is Jerrell Mardis. That's JerrellMardis. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.